Tuesday and every Thursday. Y'all tap in.
Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
Anybody out
Show
there?
is the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's when we can kick every Tuesday. Everything is going down. Every Thursday. They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, the Roy Anthony Show. It's during the week, homie. The Roy Anthony Show. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Come on and get a tap in before we gotta tap in. What you listening to? The Roy Anthony Show. Every Tuesday. Come on and kick it with us. The Roy Anthony Show. Every Thursday. It's going down, homeboy. The Roy Anthony Show. Co-host tap in. Big Hank. We getting it. What you think? It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank and Christina Carter. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony
What it do? What it do? What it do? Man, we want to apologize for some of the difficulties. All of a sudden, we was about to come live, and then they kick all of our cameras out. We don't know what was going on. Like 6 minutes, it probably was 10:07 in the Cali, it's 12:07 in the Midwest, and all of a sudden, we was just kicked out of our the show, and none of our cameras was working. And I know that there's a lot of inclement weather going through the Midwest down through the South, but sometimes I just think that is powers to be, because they seem to always give us some flack. I'm Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. We probably lost a lot of viewers because we have a lot of viewers who be coming in, and all of a sudden we go through these type of predicaments. I don't know what was going on, but I'm Roy Anthony. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show. We are coming live, me and my co-stars, which is Big Hank, who will be coming in any second, and Miss Christina Carter, aka Miss Uniqueness. Thank you for joining the Woe Entertainment segment of the Roy Anthony Show. Woe Entertainment, which was created by Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, co-creator Goose. A lot of people don't understand. Some people say you should apologize. Every time when there's subjects that we're bringing up, we've been having a lot of viewers increasing around the world, and it seems like some people don't even understand that some of the things that we say, powers to be, is constantly got a finger on the button, ready to stop me at any given time. And today's subject, but first let me get through with the Woe Entertainment, which was created by Redneck Pimp, real name Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, the co-creator Goose, along with our social producer Blue Phoenix. We have Nathan Matthews. We have Matthews, not Nathan Matthews. Nathan is one guy. Matt is another guy, and I want people to start paying attention. The Blue Phoenix is deep into the gaming system. If you're into the gaming, we appreciate that. We got Shields coming from Missouri. Talk about you should apologize with a hyphen mark. Um, we had Miss Robinson coming from Olathe, Kansas, saying she loves my hat. Thank you. Raider Skull Cap. And so I was just about to fly on back home, back to Los Angeles, and it snowed. And I was like, it was just 65-degree weather yesterday. And I extended my stay in Kansas City and come out as a foot of snow all over the city. I'm like, oh boy, I trekked out early this morning so I can make sure I had something to cozy up onto, some liquor. And so today's show, we're gonna have one of a good friend of mine's name. His name is William Rodriguez Morrison, who's running for mayor of Los Angeles. He's also one of the most elite security guards that major celebrity uses, from Britney Spears, um, Justin Bieber, and numerous celebrities. He worked the Super Bowl. And Tuesday, he had came in on as a guest appearance because gave him the green light, being able to come on our show since he's running for mayor of Los Angeles. And we was talking, and he mentioned to me about charters. And so knowing me, I started digging up different things about what is a charter, city charter, stuff like that. And it was amazing that a charter is something that, when a city has been established within a state, they come up with what they call set of rules. So let me give you an example. When um the background, like I've heard people say, well, the police was just following me and they didn't have no reason to follow me. Well, I found out that in the city charters, there gives permissions of what the police can do. When they said that California, and that's one of William supposed to come in, who's running for mayor of the city of Los Angeles, and he mentioned that the charter is still the same. So I started digging into this charter, and the California charter hasn't been updated since 1912. I said, whoa. So I started looking in other jurisdictions in other states like Missouri, because our head producer, Richard King, lives in Missouri, and our social producers and them, mainly, most of them are in the state of Missouri. I'm the only one, I think, that besides a couple of other people, I know some of our viewers like Dean, who comes on frequently, is in more in Ohio, but the most of the Whoa Entertainment is established in Missouri. So I started looking through Missouri, and I really got interested when they released a guy who had been in prison for 43 years this past Tuesday, and did not don't want to pay him or anything. So I started looking up the charters. Well, even in Missouri, which we have one of the most high profile ladies coming from St. Louis, Missouri. I see her in the back room. When I started looking up, the first thing that popped up was police jurisdictions in the charter. See, a charter lets you know who's your city council and what district that they in, and what you can vote for, so you can have your certain judges and everything like that. This is what a city charter is. I'm bringing my co-star. Before I bring in our guest, I want to make sure our co-star is in of the show. What's up with you, Big Hank?
What's up, Roy? How you doing, loved one?
Man, I'm doing great, man. Yourself? Make sure
Good,
my
man.
volume's up. You sound pretty distant. And yeah, there you go. It was my volume.
All right,
So,
appreciate it. Yeah,
good to seeing you again, my brother.
always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure with you.
Yes. And today, you know, our subject was about these charters. I'm about to school some people because I had to get schooled. Remember when we had
you said charters?
Charters, like the city charters, stuff like that, which is a charter.
Me too.
Yeah, what I found out is that a charter, and what made spark my interest in how I started looking at this is that, remember when we had William Rodriguez Morrison in Tuesday, and he was telling me how these charters hasn't changed. So I'm like, what's a charter? Well, a charter is basically like, you know, when you go to school or something, you're giving specifics. Who's the dean? Who is the teacher? What's the student board? Who you can go to if you have this type of problem? What you can do for that problem? You know what I'm saying? You know, they got this thing coming, Roy Suck. They said it everywhere. Richard King started. That's my man Dean out there in Ohio. And so, but thanks, Dean. It's good seeing you too, bro. They tease with that, and it doesn't affect me and stuff because they're paying attention. Now,
yes, sir.
In the United States, remember we was embarking about, we don't break laws. We break penal codes.
Right.
If you break a law, now the feds is coming for you.
Right.
When you break a law.
Right.
In the city, they are called penal codes. Now we vote in mayors and city commissioners that has the right to change the charters up. But if it benefits them, why change it up?
Right.
Well, some of the things that I found, since we, you know, our head producer and them was in Missouri, I started looking up Missouri's charters. You know, I looked at California's charter. Did you know California's charter ain't been updated since 1912?
Yeah. Who wrote the charter?
Yeah.
Now, no, who wrote the charter?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And what the charter says is that they have the permission to give power to what we deal with as far as mayors, commissioners, and the police.
Right.
So, how many times have we seen where, man, this police was following me around, man? That's harassment, man. You know, the police stopped me for it. I didn't do nothing. Well, I looked up the charters. I did research, right?
Yeah.
It was amazing. Missouri, charter gives the police permission to stop you when they want to.
Right. Stop and frisk if you like in
And
New York.
look, when we're pointing out a police officer, man, he stopped me trying to take me to jail. Well, the charter stays for him too.
Yes.
It hasn't been updated. The charters in the United States is still adjusted to when Leave It to Beaver and them's type of neighborhood is being displayed.
Yeah.
It hasn't been updated with today's technology, and the taxpayers we constantly transform, our society transforms,
Right.
where we didn't have cell phones 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
We didn't have certain media or how to talk to each other. I remember when I was a kid, like 5 or 6, my mother'd be like, hey, we're gonna have a call from your auntie. She's gonna be calling from Shreveport, Louisiana. So we sitting around the phone because she sent a letter that she's gonna be calling us August 18th at 6 p.m.
Right. Yeah.
So
can't nobody be on the phone and nothing around at that time. Y'all got
exactly
right.
Leave that three-way. You know, we always had one way. My mother didn't pay no three-way.
You call that one with
hang up and let me call him back.
Busy.
What we call it? We call it. Oh, no, they busy. The line.
The line busy.
Did she answer the phone? My mother said, did she answer the phone? No, the line was busy.
Line busy. Line was busy. She on the phone, mama.
You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm bringing this up, and God works in so many different ways. We got one of the most leading ladies from St. Louis. She's in the back room right now, Miss Marcel Wallet. I'm sorry, Miss Marcel Woodland, but we call her Miss Woody if you're in the comedy thing, you know, and stuff. Sometimes I have a problem with syllables and stuff, so sometimes it can mess me up, you know. Our orator for grand words is Big Hank. He can say her name perfectly. Me, I stumble on syllables. That's why I say when they talk about you can't say retarded, bro, you gotta say mentally challenged. Too many syllables. Just letting you know, it's too many syllables. Now, before I bring her in, I want to. We had Miss Woodland in here before last year when she was discussing what she was embarking into. Right. Not only is she the head coordinator for the Juneteenth Festival, which a lot of people don't understand. It's not about free food and having a good time. You got to understand what's the history of the Juneteenth festivals about. And she's a pioneer that keeps that going on. Yeah. The biggest thing, the whole city's getting behind her now. I'm going to let her tell it. Yeah. But what I respect, why I'm saying is, I know she's in the back room hearing me. When you have an idea, and the rest of the world may not believe in your idea, who is you to have this idea? Right. She had an idea of breaking the Guinness Book of World Records. Yeah. What I love about her is that she didn't go and wait for other people to help her with it. She went and filled out her own application. Yeah. And the Guinness Book of World Records said, okay. Yeah. See, they didn't think that was going to happen. Right. Now, when you get an application approved by the Guinness Book of World Records, yeah, you know, that's saying like, okay, I'm gonna stand up here with an egg on top of my head for about 48 hours. Right. And stuff. If they approve it, then I got to sit up there and try 48 hours and try to get them up, because 2 hours and stuff. I'm thinking this is the craziest thing to do. But she got something that's not just about her. Yeah. She's not on about the individual. She's not doing something where she's standing on her head for 3 days and stuff like that. Right. You know, she came up with filling up. She wants to have where she can do a comedy show and it has more people because the record is some English dude or whatever hosts a record for like 78,000 people to come to a comedy event.
Okay.
And she believed where she went for the, let me tell you something. The Rams gonna play at the football stadium. She said, let me tell you what I'm gonna do with it. Man, let me stop talking about it. I'm gonna let her come on. Man, let's give a round of applause, man, for Miss Willie. Miss Willie, what's up?
I hear you trying to explain my plan. I hear you trying to explain my plan. I am so excited because as all the naysayers who visualize this not happening, it's about to go down. It's about to go down. And let me just touch on a little bit of what you was talking about with the laws and all that type of stuff, right? When we have so many people who are not only ignorant to the laws, because I was, a lot of people don't know that I did go to school to study law. I just didn't carry out the plan. But I was so into the law, I studied law, and I was also studying to be an electrical engineer. But kids got in the way, family situation, nobody wanted to watch the baby, I had to walk away from my academic scholarship and all that type of stuff, right? But let me get back to the point. If we have more people in a better financial position to help themselves, this is what this event that I'm doing, raising the type of money that can invest into people. And I'm just doing it through comedy because I'm a comedian and I have connections, right? So we have more people in a better financial position to help themselves. That opens up the opportunity to learn more about where you live.
Exactly. Yes.
When you poor and struggling and you just more focused on going to punch that clock, and then you got to go punch another clock, then you may have to punch another clock, and then on top of that you got kids and you don't have time to teach your kids. You rely on the school teaching the kids, and they still losing out on messages. Yeah. I'm just doing something unique through comedy to invest in people, especially in our community.
Let me say this, Miss Woody. I'm gonna call you Miss Woody because this is
no, that's fine. That's what most people know me as. Yes, sir.
Miss Woody. Now, Miss Woody is a pioneer. Anybody who don't understand, she was around when Cedric the Entertainer then was starting out.
Right.
Yeah. She said she took that sacrifice. Now, let me tell you what she did, though, y'all. She's going for the Guinness Book of World Records. Now, I wasn't exaggerating that.
2 of them.
2. Describe what you're going for.
Okay, the one that I have been working so diligently to pull off is it's called mass participation. That means all the people coming to the event are actually coming to support me in this effort to break this record. Now, the record was set in 2008 in Berlin, Germany. A comedian filled the Olympia Stadium with like 70,000 people. Okay. See? But only went on, but only 67,000, 67,333. Look, I got to get my numbers right. But yeah, it was 66,334 people sat and watched him do comedy. Now, I don't know what he did with his money, but just keep in mind, this is a ticketed event, which means tickets has to be sold. That means a lot of money.
He sold for $1. He is 67,000.
You hear me? But we ain't selling no tickets for that cheap amount, right? And if we have a well-known, so I have to find a well-known person that's going to help bring that crowd, and the fact that I have to come up with the money to pay Guinness World Record to help promote the event out. Because once Guinness World Record is officially involved in the event, they're sending that press release out to every country,
the world,
around the world. Yeah, so this is what I try to get. This is what I try to get my connections in comedy to understand. You do not have to be well known. Just bring your comedy. Get in where you fit in. If you want to host, if you want to compete, if you want to come and be a vendor and do meet and greets and sell your products. If you ain't got no products, we'll give you our products to sell and give you a cut of that. And the event. And the event includes 100 $1,000 comedy competition in cash and prizes. So we're out every day looking for more sponsors. Even investment opportunity is there for the first year. Because after the first year, I ain't gonna need no investors. I probably won't even need no sponsors. Because we as comedians become our own sponsors. Because I broke it down like this. If you are a comedian that promotes shows or comedy club, come on board and help us find the 2 funniest comedians in your state. You don't have to be the hottest promoter in your city, because if enough of us come together, guess what's going to happen? More and more people going to want to get in. But I limit it to 2. I limit it to no more than 2 promoters in each state. If I get at least 1 promoter in 3 to 5 states, that's enough. Everybody else who want to get in can just pay their own way to get to the event. We're working on our host hotel. I have a committee person that's working on that. Matter of fact, I'll be doing an interview with her tomorrow on her IG page. So I've been looking for people all across the country to get in, because my people here in St. Louis, they were slowly feeling it, right?
Yeah.
And this is the unique thing that I had to do. I had to figure out a way to reach the people to give the information, because I didn't have no top dollars to pay into advertisement.
Yeah.
Right.
So I went out on street corners with the same people that begged for change, $1 or $2 with their little brown sign.
Yes.
I went on those corners. I got me a permit, went out on those corners, and I started collecting small donations. This is what I need to do to keep going with the effort. Pay for the website, take time out to do research. So I had to position myself in a way to keep going with the idea, so people will eventually take me serious.
Wait a minute,
right?
Ms. Woody. Let me get this straight with everyone.
A lot of people don't know.
She didn't start with a trust fund.
Nope.
She didn't start with an investment. She's telling you.
Nope.
She didn't look. She took a sign.
Yeah.
And it didn't say on there, "Hey, I'm homeless. Can you help me? Don't have no food. Can you give me some change?"
Let me show you an example of my signs. And I put a 10 up, and I went and printed out, those big poster size signs.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger than that. Those signs cost like $30, $40, $50, right?
Yes.
But I got a hookup nowadays that I can get that same big old sign for like $4. I'll tell you that secret in a minute. But I have to show you what they look like. And then there's some posts that I posted like on Facebook. I don't know if I got any on Instagram, of me out in the community, standing on an intersection, collecting small donations. And I use my button business. I make buttons, keychains, and magnets. I use those items to give to people when they made the donation. So that means I had to stand on a lot of corners for a lot of years just to keep pitching the idea, right?
Yes.
But let me show you what they look like.
Miss Woodland has been doing a lot, man. You remember when we talked to her before?
This is how big.
Oh, okay. All right.
You might
And
not
you stood out on the corner holding them up.
So when the people would drive up and wait at the light, I gave them something to read. And
that seemed like a lot of small print, though. Cars, so I mean, like,
well, this is one of the ones that I use when I like go at like a liquor store, a beauty supply house, or something, because I have a lot of little small businesses that allow me to collect the donations. Now here's the one with bigger information.
See,
I was thinking the same thing. You got to be speed reading at the sign, the light.
These are the latest the upcoming event. So these are the posters for that, right?
Nice ass signs, I know that.
Yeah, and I can give y'all some tips on how to get these type of signs printed out. This is the type of stuff we're gonna be talking about at the event, because the event will be 3 weeks. The last week, I'm setting it up for anybody who wants to bring a workshop or training session. Definitely trying to find somebody who wants to help bring like acting classes, information on like doing improv, writing, because we're gonna have that whole week before the final event takes off, which is the Guinness World Record, and the finals for the competition will be that weekend, that Friday and Saturday before we attempt the Guinness World Record attempt on that Sunday.
Now, Miss Woody, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When have y'all set dates up yet? When these 3 weeks is?
Yeah, I have a few venues that's back up. I have the information that I showed you about the competition that we're doing to find the 2 funniest for the state of Missouri.
Yes.
I have that venue, but that's a small venue. That's for the that's March the 3rd through the 31st for
March
that
3rd.
competition.
Okay, that's
for that
Missouri.
competition. Yeah, that's just for finding the funniest in our state. Now, if it's any promoters out here listening and want to organize their own competition and can do one from like 4 to 6 weeks, or at least have it finalized by the first week in June, hit me up, sign up. The agreement is so simple, and you will have that whole time of your competition to come up with the collaboration fee of $1,000 and the $1,500 to sponsor that winner to come to St. Louis.
And I went on there. You can go to the website, go to showmefunny.com. Mm-hmm. It's so simple because I signed on. I told her I was going through it because anytime someone sends me a website and it's on my show, I actually follow through with it. I don't just BS and talk about it. And I signed through and didn't go through for a minute because I want to be a host. Yeah. And so I went through that CEO. That's our head producer. And so, especially those in Missouri, there's a lot of comedians that I know that's in Missouri, from our producer Redneck Pimp to Tafu Panda and numerous of other comedians that you need to take this seriously, because
a lot of them know about it. They're just not taking it serious, but it has to fall in place when it falls in place. And I can't just let that halt me, because guess what? Anybody can sign up. I don't care if you got a drunk ass uncle. Okay, they can, it's anybody can sign up. So maybe we'll find somebody in the street that say, hey, everybody say I'm funny, I should be a comedian. We'll sign up. Who knows? It might be somebody that's unknown, they never stepped their foot on stage, and may take that bank.
Yeah, it is. Now, I want to talk to you because you worked within, I heard you say you got your the license so you can hold the sign.
I got a permit.
Every step of the way you did falling out. The show, I brought Miss Woody in because I'm in promoting people, especially when there's something that's positive and it falls with something that I can help as well. Yeah. One of the things I want to bring up, Miss Woody, this is what the subject was about, since you're here, because you said you studied law. You didn't go through with it.
It's been many years. I've gotten a lot of things, but I'm still very interested in knowing the ordinance and those different types of things.
And this is why I'm about to school a lot of people. It's easy. See, a lot of times, and I was told this by an engineer of mine, that, believe it or not, urbanites, we tend to use our cell phones for entertainment. More than to look
research
how we can research and then make money, especially on research and stuff. Google can, me, I'm a Google fanatic.
Me too.
Boy, I wish I had Google when I was a kid. Boy, I
was
ace master.
Right. You'll be an H student.
Yes,
so I use it to this benefit to myself. Now, when we had William Rodriguez Morrison was running for mayor of Los Angeles. He's headed for, I think, the primaries or the general voting system, right? I'm still learning how the stuff works. He brought up about a charter. And each city, even when you buy, I found out when you buy a yacht, if you was to buy a yacht, there are certain things they have to go with you on, which is a charter. It's called a boat charter. And they can still control the boat because you haven't learned how to control the boat. So I said, well, that's interesting. So they gave examples, Google did, you see. So I went into city charters. It was amazing when I heard William Rodriguez bring up that California's charter hasn't been updated. This is 2022. The charter is still going from 1912.
Remember, Obama talked about all of that. Remember, he talked about all the old laws that need to be changed.
Yes. So I've heard, so I looked up even Missouri, since, you know, I went to see Missouri because Tuesday evening, I was on the broadcast with our head producer on his show and his co-star, the commander. And on their show, he said, you can't afford to buy a yacht. Dean crazy. He had me laughing. He said, you can't afford to buy a yacht. You can't afford to pay someone to drive it.
Right.
But, so what happened was I see Magesha Jackson's in the back. She's lives in Los Angeles, back and forth from Kansas City, Missouri. Her father stays in Missouri. So I looked up Missouri. In Missouri's first thing that came up was traffic. It tells you who the city councils and how you can go. And in the charter, it specifies we give the permission for these acts to be executed.
Mm-hmm.
When we say the police stop me for no reason, well, in the charter it says the police can stop you on any cause they feel.
For no reason.
For no reason. They can arrest you on suspicious. There's no reason. See, if we don't know the charters, how can you know to fight back? When we say, oh, we need to defund the police. Oh, no, you don't want that happening.
No.
Because you're talking about living the purge for real. If you folks is taking living dead seriously, then you really want to take the purge seriously.
Right.
So we can't defund the police. What we want to do is get the police to be more educated, but the public need to be educated, because if he hadn't brought that up and I looked it up, I don't never know when the charter's been taught to me.
Right.
That the police can stop you if you look suspicious. Now, if you riding through, of course, he do it more in the minority neighborhoods. I'm talking as a universal, but they more in the minority neighborhoods because we look suspicious to a lot of our white neighbors all the time.
But you know how a lot of it is getting funded, don't you?
Well, it says through taxpayers' monies.
Right.
Why we look suspicious?
But see, I'm just saying this
mostly through entertainment. Mostly through entertainment.
A general standpoint. See, we say, how can we get to know? So I found out who gets the police permission. And all of this, the mayors, the city commissioners, the public works, all of this is done from taxpayers' money. Tell a police officer, man, I pay your taxes. Really, he can tell you better go to the charter.
Right.
Because you pay your taxes. But I'm delegating out the rules that our city commissioners, who are just as black as we are on some city commissioners, has the opportunity to help change these charters. Because the charters tells them, because you ugly, Big Hank. He said it's good. He said you asked the question.
Why do I look suspicious in a white neighborhood? Why I look suspicious in a white neighborhood? Okay, I go for that. I don't mind being ugly. I ain't got no problem with it, but I know that ain't the reason.
but see,
I know that ain't the reason.
You know, we're gonna I see Magesha in the back. When she wants to come on, I want her to unmute her mic. When she unmutes her mic, I know she wants to come on and bring her up. But Miss Woody, you did you're the super head over the Juneteenth.
Well, I won't say head over the Juneteenth. I just started a Juneteenth, and I positioned the comedy festival the week before and the week after, leading into the 4th of July. I did it in a very unique way because last year I did Juneteenth celebration at our HBCU, and no one was doing Juneteenth at our Black Historical College. I had already planned it before they even announced the national celebration of federal law for Juneteenth. But as soon as I went after that university, I won't say no names, but I feel that people are trying to force me out of that position, which is fine.
And it's not and that's the thing, it's not an individualistic thing. I want my neighbors, and a lot of people don't understand what Juneteenth means.
Right.
Juneteenth is an historical situation for blacks in
A
America.
lot of us didn't even know about it until that national message went out. That it is now a federal holiday.
One of the days, because I used to be with my grandmother when she was alive. She celebrated from June 13th through June the 19th because what it is, everybody.
That's when the competition starts. June the 13th. The preliminary rounds will be the 13th through the 17th.
Slavery was abolished, but some states didn't want to accept the abolishment of it. Right. And it took Texas 3 years before they finally abolished it. And then what happened is they released them through the Juneteenth days. That was June the 13th through the 19th. So that's why it was a celebration that the last state was finally recognizing that slavery was illegal, right? And so a lot of people, they didn't know it. And some people say they had to Google it up. Now, some people say, oh, is that a holiday just for blacks? No, it's not. Just like the Taste of Chicago was started by blacks, it's not. This is black, all races. We're not holding accountable. We're not reacting plays where now you're the slave and I'm beating you. Hey, how does it feel? We're not doing that. It's a celebration of what we came from, y'all.
Right.
We wasn't in the Revolutionary War, but we popped fireworks. Right. Recognizing our independency from Britain control. So when we see these charters, and I was listening to you, Miss Woody, and I'm bringing this reason up because you said before you start putting your signs out, you went and got a permit. Now I've seen people do garage sales and they mad that the police shutting them down. Well, you didn't
get a permit.
Yes, he could be ticky-tacky. He's having one of them days. He didn't have no trim last night, and he's angry, mad, but you didn't get a permit.
Right.
Because when you have a garage sale, you're supposed to put it on a piece of wood in front of yours, showing that you have a permit to do this.
Right. Yeah. I would have people would call the police on me and everything, but I kept my permit on me.
You kept your permit. Look, you trying to make $200 or $300 at a garage sale, but you don't want to pay that $16 for that permit. You can't be mad when he shuts you down.
That's right.
And so it's just like the charters. You know what? We so busy trying to look at a police officer. And I'm talking to my minorities. If you don't look at the charter, you can't blame it on him. But man, you stopped me for this. Wait a minute. Right. I'm not saying I'm with the police on some of the stuff. I'm just saying he is doing his job.
I got a question.
Yeah.
One, how come the charters haven't been changed since 1912?
Now.
Okay, you understand me?
Like that movie said. Education.
I'm gonna say like that movie said. Now that's the right question.
Yes,
you know, I think that was Ready Player One. Now you've asked the right question because we elect these people to get in. That's what William is talking about. When I found out city commissioners has a role with the mayor on how the charters have to change. Yep. Well, you know why it doesn't change?
Because we don't know nothing about it.
It doesn't change because even though
no action is being taken
in your face and saying they got your everlasting back and everything, they're content because they get a salary from taxpayers' money. Don't you know that if a police is acting up, we're taking it wrong, we're protesting around the police department. What we need to do is go protest around the commissioners' homes and the mayor's homes, because I found out that all active commissioners and mayors has a chance to change the city charters.
Let me tell you what, one way you can create the change is something that I just posted earlier. Are you all familiar with the Change website where you can submit a petition to change whatever it is you want to have changed, and you just have to get the signatures? That's how a lot of laws lately are being brought up.
But see,
I have a few petitions on there now, and that's actually how I used one of the petitions to get a meeting with Explore St. Louis, because it took me 4 years. They didn't take me serious. So when I found out about change.org, I submitted my proposal. I mean, my information on that petition and shared it out to people. And it only took less than 200 signatures for them to finally say, hey, okay, we'll give you this meeting. That's one way people are getting laws changed. So you all should look into
on that charter,
change.org.
But if you go to the city, or if you just say your city charter, they give you out and you can highlight. And it said that if you had a petition and how because you got to also have some type of permit, which is to permit to be able to get signatures, because you got to have that. Okay,
that's
like
what I did.
You can't go knocking at people's doors saying, "Can you sign this?"
Right.
You get it.
I had got one for the city, one for the county.
And so
I did this for years.
But guess what? This I've filled in. It's a shame for my city commissioners, because you should call up a meeting within your city, a free public hearing, so we can learn about the charters. That confusement keep happening because
we don't know.
Okay, your city commissioner goes to your regular church. He's city commissioner up there smiling, all that. But we ain't questioning. We're happy that he's an elected official, but we ain't holding him responsible for what him being a commissioner.
Yeah, gotta hold him responsible.
They have the right to change up the charter. Please, okay. We live in a technology world. Am I right?
Right.
Police don't need to even stop you to know if you have a driver's license or insurance now. They have the technology that reads your license plate and lets you know that this car is insured or not.
Yep.
The charter has not been updated since we've been in technology generation. We in cell phones, laptops. We get the music the way you want to at the drop of a dime. Our charters are still going to when the Leave It to Beaver type way of lifestyle was going on. Leave It to Beaver didn't have no pager. He didn't have no wave bag. He didn't have no Murray's hair grease. He didn't have none of that. He had no 20s on his car.
Yeah.
Our technology changed.
And he didn't have no black friends.
One down in the neighborhood, right?
Like that. When we green screen to Leave It to Beaver, me and Big Hank would show up at the door.
What's up, B? What's cracking?
I'll be like, hey, how you doing, Hugh Beaumont? I'm sorry. Where Eddie at?
Eddie was the closest to it.
Yeah.
Me and Big Hank gonna make sure that Eddie Haskell don't mess with you again, B.
Eddie was a thug. Eddie was a thug of the family, though. He was a thug of the family.
He was closest to a black friend.
Hey, but if we don't see, ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
See, we want to fight with the police, and the police is saying, "Man, I'm doing my job," even though some of you doing it aggressively. But if we don't know, because guess what? Our city commissioners, who is looking like us, because that's why they got them practically sectioned in a city that's predominantly of color.
Yeah.
Because I tell people, I've seen a black dude say, "Roy, you living out there with the white folks. Look, man, you ain't never lived in a black neighborhood in your life. You live in a neighborhood that is predominantly black."
Right. Yeah, you don't.
Please come. You gonna go through a Rodney King beating.
Right.
We got to go to the doctor. The whole medical staff. Look at all those pictures. Gene Scott Gray, starter of the Bethany Medical Center.
Right.
Like Beaumont. Look at the educational department. You know, us God-fearing people didn't tell our kids that a Big Bang Theory and you grew up from a fish coming out the water. But
we have to get more people in a better financial position to motivate that push for learning what's going on in your community. You have more people under educated and under the financially spectrum or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
you take away the focus of knowing or wanting to know. You have a very few select number of people who don't want to settle for their situation, so they get out there and they seek that knowledge, right?
Yes.
And when you position people, and that's my goal for this event that I'm organizing, is to get more people in a better financial position. Because when you have more money to relax a little bit, and you want to be curious about the surroundings, your surroundings and what's going on, when you got to work, you know what I'm saying, just to pay the rent and pay at the little bills, a lot of these different types of laws is just happening, and you are occupied. You occupied. So I'm so glad I jumped in here on this, because this is a needed topic. This is a needed topic.
Miss Woody, I would tell anybody before we get off of this air today, please use your phone and Google up your city charter, and they're going to tell you what the police can do and cannot do. And guess what? You know why they get off? You know why they get off on a lot of stuff?
Go.
You know why the police get off? And they like, we can't understand, is that they followed the charter.
Right.
If you don't know the charter, go ahead. I'm sorry, Big Hank.
No, that's informative. That's what you just said is informative, man. I'm 50. I'll be 58 this year. I'll be 58 this year. I went to USC, all that, man. This is my very first time ever hearing of a charter. I know about the police, though. I know everything about the police, but I never ever heard of charter before.
We can learn so much through our industry. You know, it's not all about jokes. It's about, you know what I'm saying?
He says you've been in redneck circles, because redneck, because look here.
You got to be hungry for the knowledge. Just be hungry for it, you know?
See, for us to be able to fight, you got to know who you fighting. Ain't nobody getting in the ring and didn't know who his opponent's going to be.
Right.
If I was new on the police force and they told me, here's my boss, do you think I care what somebody on the outside? Yes, you don't like being arrested. But my charter, and you see the charter. Now, guess what? I'm gonna give you an example. Good news, the real news and righteous news is hard to be heard.
That's right. That's right.
Every city I've been in, they have a black gospel station playing. They always have some station that's kind of coming in there, making it hard to hear. It seems like they go in between two stations. If you're in Missouri, I will tell you, try to listen to 106.1. You're not going to listen to black gospel spirituals all day. They have another station trying to come in, but let it be, take my hose, take my gun.
Right. A lot of the much needed information is on the AM.
That's what, look here. But when I found out about the charter, Big Hank, I was like, oh wow. Am I supposed to share this? Because if you click on it, it tells you the duties with traffic, police.
It's public knowledge.
Well, Miss Woody was just talking about
public knowledge.
You got to file for a petition, and then you file another application to get petition signatures to do it right. Going with a notebook you just got from the general store. I'm going around here and get signatures. You ain't filed for nothing. You just wasting folks' time.
Yeah,
and your own time.
It's digital now. It's digital now.
Okay, listen here. If you on this show podcast, and I'm letting you know, if you don't look up your charter just to see the ins and outs of what the police can't do, and you come to me and say, man, the police stopped me for nothing, I'm like, dude, I don't want to hear it. Because they done told you they can.
Yes, right.
If I was you and you got something illegal, don't tell me, man, they stopped me for no reason. That has never been thrown out of court.
No.
Only thing's been thrown out of court is that they can't go in your lock situations and tell you to unlock it, which is your glove compartment or your trunk.
Right.
They can search you. They can search your body with the charter, because when the charter was wrote,
Unless you're ex-con, unless you're ex-con or something, now they could go in anything they want to.
Exactly.
Right.
Look here. If the charters wrote, so say for instance, you got wide open them times, right?
Yeah.
So here come a man coming into town. Remember you seen the cowboy movies where it say, hey, buddy, you got to turn your gun in before you come into town.
Right.
That's part of the city charter here.
That's the rules and regulations. That's right.
Man, ain't nobody gonna take my gun over my dead body.
Boom, 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 boom.
You will know next time.
I bet you won't come down here talking that shit next time.
You be here in the third street. You like, Roy. I say, what's going on, man? Man, you heard about old Usty Henry? No, he went in that town. They told him that the charter said you can't carry no pistol. He went in there anyway, said over my dead body. Well, that's why they shot him up.
Shot him dead.
Charter. So guess what? Our the charters has not been changed. Now I'm not saying it should be changed to where we could be carrying guns in a cars or whatever. I'm not saying that we can be outlaws. What I'm saying is sometimes on my way to work, I've been stopped and dude want to give me a ticket, and I'm telling him, dude, I'm on my way to work. So the charters say if you got expired tags, you should be you got 6 months to get them right. It doesn't say that. It says that if expired tags, you can be stopped. And
I'm glad you brought that up. I started a movement called the 929, Avoid 929, and through this event, I want to put money into that so that we can have money ready and available to help people get their tags right. If they have like busted tail lights or they need stuff like that done to avoid them getting in a situation which will get them locked up and killed.
Well, you know what they can do though on the charter. I found out that if you can't afford it, you can ask for a waiver. If you don't read it, they got everything outlined. Look here, everything when you leave out that door. In some states, you got to be careful what you do inside doors, because in some states they call Bible Belt states, like Missouri, one of them. They call Bible Belt states. Some of these states, Bible Belt. Yes, some of these laws is based upon the understanding of the word of God. So you can't have sodomy with your wife with the window open. That's a case.
It's crazy. It's a lot of crazy laws.
Keep all that damn noise down over there, man. Y'all keep that noise down over there. Close the damn window.
And we're going to say nothing to you, but sir, if you had your windows open, you got to go to jail.
Yeah, you guys got to put your clothes on. Put your clothes on now. You guys are going to jail. Put your clothes on.
See, these are under charter rules, and the thing is, what I found out is that, like Dean said right here, he said local cop pulled me over because my tags were going to expire in 2 days. Laugh out loud. He wants giving you what we call a friendly reminder. Hey, buddy, you know you're lying.
No, your ass going to jail. No, your ass going to jail in 2 days.
In 3 days. 3 days.
3 days, your ass going to jail.
Man, look here, I've been through that situation, Dean. They took my car. Right, I was parked somewhere. Took my car because my tags were expired. So when I went to go get my car, they said, "Now you got to prove proof of insurance and pay us $29 a day." I don't get paid till next Friday. Every day I'm like, Lord, that 29 is adding up every day. 29. I'm about to say, forget that car, you know.
Yeah.
But see, we got to get to a point to who we mad at. We say on the Roy Answer Show, we dissect every conversation with intellect and humor. You got to know now, like me, I'm about to petition our city councils, because we're not going by their houses with a group of people and saying, when you go to work, you help change the charter.
Yeah. I'm telling you, check out change.org. When you go on there, you can write out the petition. You can get the email of each and every person that you want to get that message, and then you ask your connections through social media, email, text message to sign the petition. Right. Check it out, change.org. And you can pay, and you can either pay the site or people who sign a petition. Some people donate money to get the petition to more people.
But see, what I found out is that the charter, this is what the charter says at the beginning. Everybody, please, in your city, in your state, before you go out your door and argue with something you don't know, because this is what the lawyers know. But prevent from having to deal with the lawyer, get to know what your rights is. You can't go out there moonshine like this. I want a free moonshine, laugh out loud. You can't go out there haphazardly thinking, and we're sharing you the knowledge.
Right.
Even though I'm not agreeing with the charters, right? But you got to understand who is making the law.
That's the law.
I had a
poll our city commissioners. I found out it says in the charter this will be enforced and followed by these rules. So the city councils and the mayors, they come together. And guess what? It's just like what Miss Woody said. She petitioned. People don't get now I'm looking at some of the black city commissioners in our county. And they want to get in visual lines with you with the candles burning because somebody got slain and they going around with you. I feel your pain, brother. I feel your pain, sister. But you can go in that office and help change this.
Change the damn charter.
You ain't said nothing to us that the charter. Ain't a city council person came and told me, come on, Senator Maxine Waters, why you ain't tell us about the charters? Why you ain't tell us those in St. Louis and Kansas City, Missouri, and California? Why you ain't tell us about these city charters? City of Los Angeles, County of Los Angeles, Big Hank, the charter hasn't been changed since 1912.
Right.
1912. Wow.
Right.
They didn't in 1912 wasn't nobody bumping Run DMC. My theaters. We wasn't bumping that. We wasn't using our cell phone. We called Big Hank, see how you doing. Let me take a picture. Look at these files. We weren't doing none of that.
Right.
It was a gold rush in 1912. They said we better put some ordinance down. We're gonna call it the city charter.
Right.
Yeah.
That's been real. I found out that the charters are the ones that creates these what we call penal codes. Did you know that they can vote a penal code out? So every time that city commissioner is smiling with you at the Ebenezer Baptist Church and sitting up there eating collard greens and sweet potatoes, they got the power to go in there and change it.
Right.
Hey, that remind me of that good time. Remember the good time used to have that dude that came in, a bald-headed dude. He was and I'm gonna change everything. And I promise you, I'm gonna that nigga didn't do nothing.
They do that wearing the suits, looking at all that and stuff, and ain't changed. You a city commissioner. You are voted in. You are voted in to make a change, but you ain't told none of your constituents that you ain't did no changing.
Nothing.
No, okay. If you're thinking I'm lying, I'm asking everybody. You just heard Miss Woody say, go to change.org. That's
change.org.
CANGE.org.
Get him, get him, Roy. Get him, Roy.
I'm tired of this because I gotta hold myself accountability because I didn't know.
Yes. Yeah.
I sat there and I'm sitting on the toilet and I'm like, I got a chance to read. Most people do their reading when you're sitting on the toilet. I'm reading the toilet. I'm like, whoa, what is this?
That's what my hashtag stand up for change is about. Stand up.
TMI, Roy. TMI. Too much information, bro.
I've been telling myself I didn't tell them this because we got to find out a reason why we keep getting killed and going to jail and prison for what? Resisting arrest. Guess what? You know what? The police officers know that charter. The city commissioner, you don't know that charter.
Right.
Then you ask me what you stopped me for. But
let me set you up to break this. Let me set you up to break this law, so I can get away with doing what the charter says I can do.
I can do. Yeah.
If you don't know, you go out there blind willy. Don't bring a knife to a gun battle.
That's
you
right.
Gotta know who you're fighting with. If you go out there, well, I'm free. You better understand what society you living in. You just better be glad you're in one of them neighborhoods where the police don't look at it like that, because in most major cities, and so we tend to, what you stop me for? Got an attitude. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I've been a victim of that, not knowing. What you stop me for? I ain't give you no reason. What you mean? You can jack my lights, man. Forget that, man. What you mean? I'm taking me to jail. I ain't caring about that.
Let me share a situation. Let me share a situation with you guys. You know, I drove a cab for like 10 years. I used to take the comedians around. We used to go do comedy shows. I would pick up comedians from the airport for the comedy club that was here. It was called Laugh on the Landing. And then they changed to House of Comedy, right? But just to get a point across. Now, after what happened to Mike Brown here, I was a cab driver. Remember I said I was a cab driver.
Yeah.
So a lot of people was getting
Mike Brown was the big dude with the cigarette and
that situation, right?
Yeah.
So after that, a lot of people here was having more encounters with police, and they spent a lot of money because of that situation here with Mike Brown, right?
Yes.
More police, overtime. So that means they had to try to get that money back. So a lot of people got tickets. I mean, it was like so many people was complaining.
You Mike Brown, not the one with the cigarettes in St. Louis. That's one where him and
Mike Brown
from the street.
That's him. That was about the cigarette situation. He
from raps from.
It was whatever the situation was that got him killed from by that police officer. Yes. Right after that situation, when it just opened the world up to what's all been going on with the harassment and all this other stuff, whether it was brought on for the situation or whatever, still the fact remained he shouldn't have got killed in that way, and he shouldn't have been. His body shouldn't have been laid in the street for all that time, right?
Yeah.
So what had happened to me as a cab driver, I was picking up a passenger in front of a bar. Now, a cab driver has to get a permit from the city to be a public servant of this for the community, right? Just like an ambulance driver, utility driver, whatever, right? Yeah. So that means if we are in a situation where we have to use that vehicle and we're blocking the street, but you can't pull over, and they have a designated section for the taxi cab to pull over, and somebody is in that taxi section, that person is supposed to get a ticket for being parked in that designated section for the cab drivers. Yeah. Now, I had a police that tried to lie and say it was an ordinance that said that I could not park. I said, wait a minute. I'm a service for the community just like you are as a police officer. Now, when I took that challenge to court, they had to throw it out. Right?
Because you was within the charter. You was within
the charter. Exactly. I plan to share a lot of this stuff in my book when I finally sit down to write my book, how life and comedy and how comedy saved my life and how I'm using it to educate my people. But you have to know, and a lot of people don't know because their time is occupied.
Dean said, wait, you don't know you're not supposed to run from the cops or fight with the cops? No, that's not what we're saying, Dean.
No, we ain't saying that.
We're saying is sometimes I've been in my neighborhood or I'm driving and I get pulled over. I ain't got on no speed or nothing. And I'm asked the cop, what you stopping me for? Mm-hmm. Well, in the charter, I found out the police can stop you for any reason.
For any reason, depending on where you are.
Look suspicious.
Yep.
They can ask you and question you about, let me see your license. Let me make sure who you are. Well, that's what I'm talking about, Dean. I don't have to run from the police unless if I do something the police ain't on the number. That's my whole plight of it. But we're not talking about that. A lot of innocent situations can be escalated, and it can be de-escalated if we knew where you can do or not.
Right.
I've seen guys get mad. You stopping me for, man? You just race, woo, 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 not knowing that he's in the right. As far as the city charter.
Right. And if they are in the wrong, you got to take that pen to that paper and get paid.
Yeah.
Check that city charter.
They're also the flunkies for the punishment from the public, because the city commissioners hide from the responsibilities of it and act like they're just as much victims as we are with a socialism tip. That's why they, like you said, the dude on Good Times. You know, we're going to be coming to an end. I just want to go a little bit more minutes over because this is something deep.
This is a great topic.
Please look up what your city charter is saying before you take a fight, because these lawyers know ain't going to, only thing they're going to promote on their commercials, hire me. You got a DUI. You got to hit me up. 1-800, me get the law. You got all that, but they ain't going to give you information to go and figure out what can prevent you. See, one of the things, Tuesday, it was a hard day, man. We double teamed with our main producer on the show because we got a lot of people that's in prison and we're innocent. Missouri just released a guy, 43 years. He was in prison 43 years. I found this out, became Tuesday night. He was let out this past Tuesday. The state of Missouri said we can't give him no money because he was exonerated from DNA testing. It was from a witness. Wait a minute. 43 years. I need $1 for every second. Every second. I need $1 for every one of them seconds. Times 60, times 60, times 365, all that. We need all that calculation. Get the calculation, count it in here. I know you can do that for me, right? Yeah. Look here. Let's educate each other first on how to deal with if you consider your enemies, you got to understand who you fight. In the movie Predator, the predator, the alien had an advantage because he can make himself look camouflage on his whole body and kill him. But as soon as they recognize, oh, you want to be transparent, I'm gonna throw some oil on you. Now I see you coming. Now I'm gonna hit you with this bomb. I got something to fight back with. You can't fight because we constantly wonder, well, how the cops get off? How the cops get off? See, the commissioners sit up there, I know this disgraceful. I know we've been through the wrong. Dude, you had the power to go in there and change it with your lazy ass.
Yeah.
Because now we're finding people is that you're fighting with the wrong ones. The police sometimes are puppets.
Yeah.
Them city commissioners and the mayors tell them what district to. I found out the city commissioners can tell the police don't go through this particular neighborhood. Stop harassing them people.
Yeah.
I have a petition to our city mayor right now for the event to sit and pitch my idea on how to combat homelessness in our city. If you go to any one of my Marshall Woodland pages, that's the last post that I put up today. You can click the link. If you want to support either one of the petitions, I have one petition for getting interviews from CBS, ABC. I send it to a lot of different networks to try to get an interview about what I'm doing here in St. Louis. And then the other petition is to the mayor's office. One petition has 328 or 29 signatures. That's the one to the mayor's office. And then the other one only has like 28 or 29 signatures. But you can go in there and look at how I wrote mine up. I'm not saying I'm a professional at it, but you can go in and look at other petitions that are on there in relations to something that you want to have a change for. It's all about standing up for the change.
Yeah. You know what I mean? What? Even if you don't know to write well, if you go to the
they have people that work on a health issue. Yeah,
it's highlighted. You can click on it and you got complaint, you want this to go to the mayor and the commissioner. They got paperwork, go straight to them. Go in there.
They can go to the president. They can go to Senate, to anywhere.
I don't like none of this.
It can go to your school board. You can just, if you're listening, just check it out.
I'm gonna start flooding it. I'm gonna start flooding it because they got linkage, y'all. We're in technology world. I'm at before you sit up there and wondering what you cannot do, even from doing a fire sale, do it the right way. Because you don't want somebody coming there and saying you're doing illegal and taking it off. Don't give them something to fight more with. It's enough that it's against the grains. Because even though they can stop, they seem to do it more in minorities. But on the playing field, the charter didn't designate the race. It designate what they can do. And we don't know these. And I don't remember in school, like you said, Big Hank, you've been USC. I've been at Wichita State. I ain't never remember. You see, they ain't never taught us about no city charters.
Nope, never. You
better look it up. So there you know who to start with. We need to start holding our city commissioners accountable to our mayor. The governors and them got a whole bunch of city jurisdictions. If you're in a city, look up your city charter. If you're in your county, St. Louis, you're in Kansas, Missouri, you're in Los Angeles County, if you're in Mississippi, wherever you're at, look up what your city charter is and then write the do's and don'ts. If you find something that you've been arrested, you can use that in the court of law that this has been held. But why police get off a lot of stuff is because they're falling under what the city charter told them they can do, and they enhance that, and they know that you're going to cry about it.
Right. If you want to change, put a petition on change.org and push it. Push it. I'm telling you.
And another thing, man, I want to shout out the Roy Anthony show, man, for being so informative, man. Because I've been there. I had a scholarship to go to college and never heard of this, man. So I want to thank you, Roy, for opening my eyes, man. For all those that's listening, man, y'all pay attention to what's going on, man.
And those who want to listen to the taping later on, I'm telling you, when ignorance is bliss, but when you find out and you still do the same thing, now you foolish.
Yeah, you don't gotta know. Yeah, that's right.
So, hey, I want to say thank you, Miss Woody, for coming in. Well, we're about to bring the show to an end. God bless you. You have a wonderful weekend. I am with you. I'm with you.
Come on. We're behind you 100. And get more people, because this is just us doing what we love, but we're positioning more people to get financially stable. Yeah. I'm inviting people to collaborate. Come on, just come on. And then, matter of fact, you can help yourself by this collaboration and use that money to put toward whatever it is you're trying to do. You like might be an inventor.
Like Dean right here. Dean, you are in Ohio. Now, you're not a comedian, but you can be because he's in the state of Ohio. And you're saying that, okay, so you want 2 comics from each state, so you need sponsored, somebody who can put a show together under your umbrella. And all the comedians from Ohio got to go through Dean, and y'all gonna pick up.
Exactly. See, you get it. And that's why I've been trying to tell these promoters. I said, look, even if you're not the well-known comedian in your state, because you have a lot of comedians that'll go from just doing open mics or whatever, and then they do a little weekly show, monthly show. Yes. It's the same thing, but we're doing it as a collaboration. But let me hurry up and say this, because I know you got to go. Remember, I told you it's 2 Guinness World Record that I'm seeking, right? Yes. One is the one I'm trying to break, and the other one is the one that I'm looking to set. Now, I submitted my application and proposals to Guinness in 2014 and 2015. The one that I submitted in 2014 was the one for me to perform on stage to break it as a mass participation. Now, the other one is once we start getting more comedians in each state to organize their own comedy competition, we call it a festival. When it's multiple days, it become a festival. When it's like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever, it's a festival, right? So under each promoter, an application and proposal has to be submitted. I pre-wrote everybody's information to be submitted. Once we come together, we submit it to Guinness, and it becomes a Guinness World Record set.
Miss Woody, is this a black comedy thing?
No, it don't. No. Anybody is open to anybody.
For everybody, because Dean,
it's open to anybody. But I did position the preliminary round to take place the 13th through the 17th, the semifinal rounds to take place from the 20th through the 24th, and then that last week before the final event is open for workshops and training sessions.
Everybody. That's why I'm telling
anybody. It's open to anybody. But remember, we're going from Juneteenth right into the 4th of July celebration weekend.
Dean, holler at me. That's extra money too. That's extra money.
Telling you,
get
in position. Let's get in position now so we can organize the event.
ZZ Hill. That's why I did that.
Yeah.
That's the ZZ Hill move.
Yeah. It's a lot of comedians that's in the background that's waiting. But we don't want to wait on them just because they got a big name. Just imagine the more of us coming together to do this, and you already have the experience and the knowledge, especially if you already have the venue. If you already have the venue, you already have the connection. Remember, Roy Anthony, you told me to go find a venue. Now I got one. Come on.
I'm with you on that. You know I'm coming.
I didn't already organize it. Come on.
We were just waiting for the mask mandates to go down. You remember the owner?
We good now. We good now. We good now.
Well, you know what? I would like to see you again too. So if you just pop in, I know you're busy. If you do or not, I understand because I'm involved with this. I haven't gotten deep. I'm using my platform to help promote it.
And one of the other committee members, remember I told you she's interviewing me tomorrow at 11 Central Standard Time. So if you're on her IG, pop in and because she want to know.
Whoa Entertainment, they have venues because they do something similar for when they throwing shows for the vets. And this is for the state. This is being held in the state of Missouri, y'all. Everybody from Missouri.
The big one will come. Basically, everyone who's willing to do their own thing, but they have to get started now organizing it because it has to be wrapped up the week before the preliminary rounds begin. That way you use 4, 6, 8 weeks or whatever. I just put the other one together. It starts March the 3rd. I wanted somebody else to do it. I wanted somebody to do it in Kansas City, but everyone who said they were going to do it didn't step up to do it. So I just
Whoa Entertainment. We'll get you with Whoa Entertainment. I'm giving you information. Whoa Entertainment, Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp. He's coming from Cameron, Missouri, affiliated with Kansas City, Missouri, and then our social producers down there in Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah, tell them, come on, sign up. The registration is $10. Yeah, the registration
our time.
for the
We waste past our time, so I'm going to. He even just said me to have one scheduled. I give y'all information shared to each other. Okay. God bless you, Miss Woody. All right, Big Hank.
All right, Miss Woody. Nice seeing you again, Miss Woody.
All right, bye, y'all.
Bye.
All right, this day.
Hey, is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Roy
is anybody out there?
It's the spot to be, baby.
Hey, tune in.
It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast.